Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I created Magic and Miracles in order to help people of all walks of life achieve their manifestation goals. All the information for me is below. If you would like to be in coaching with me, understand that you need to pre-book, sign the coaching agreement, and email me the said coaching agreement that you'll print and sign by hand. And then let me know, together with sending that agreement, when is your availability for a first session. So I operate unlike any other coach on the internet or any other coach that you have ever met. I'm very thorough, very methodical in my coaching. This is because I want to be the last coach that you'll ever need. And I want to really deliver the knowledge and the methodology behind making manifestation easy for you. Okay, I've done the research during the last 15 years, not 5, excuse me, so that you don't have to. I've been a coach for 9 years and I've coached people of all walks of life. My signature coaching package is the amalgamation of all of that knowledge, and I give it to you bite size. I recommend 2 to 3 months in coaching with me. In earnest, you have to come ready to rock and roll. You have to be open, receptive, honest about everything. That's the only way I can help you. And you need to understand that I'm 100% on your side. And if you do everything that I say, you will succeed. Those who have definitely succeeded. I have a very high success rate for that very reason, about 90%. Now, am I able to help everybody? No, of course not, because the coaching process very much depends on your effort as well. So you need to come to the table with your eagerness. Those are the people that succeed in my coaching the most. It's a 3-step process. First, we discuss your drama, trauma, panorama. This is how I refer to it. In essence, this is everything you've been through. And it's no joking matter. It just became a saying on my channel. Everything that you've lived, everything that traumatized you, starting with your childhood, not just the traumatic and dramatic parts, but I'm interested in everything, because I'm interested in taking a look at your belief system. This is the only way that I will understand how to fix your perception, your consciousness, to help guide you to achieve this detachment from the old timeline to jump into a new timeline where life is effortless. And you will understand why I keep saying manifestation is easy, especially in the SP case. And so then we detach ourselves from the emotions associated with that timeline. I help you process all the emotions. Those are stored emotions for years, in some cases decades, that you've accumulated. You haven't made the time. You didn't think it was okay, or nobody told you. Okay, all sorts of reasons, but we make it our business in coaching to process emotions. Very important. And for different people, it's going to take a different period of time. However, and this is a big however, this is not for the faint of heart, because most people don't want to face their demons. And I'm going to tell you that there is another however. Without this step, you will not succeed. You need to let go of the past. You need to part with that timeline. And the last, and certainly not least step, is I teach you everything I know about manifestation and how to use it every single day in a practical way. I teach you energy work that amplifies your manifestations through the roof. Real talk now, this is the most powerful game. The energy game is the most powerful game. If you really understand how powerful your energy is, you will not spend another minute doing nothing about it. Either you will come into coaching with me, or you will be deliberate enough on your own to cultivate a new energy. Of course, it's easier in coaching. That's the whole entire point why I'm offering coaching. And again, you need to realize the power of your energy, which is why you're not having success today, okay? Some of that energy needs to go. But energy work, again, is like magic work. It's not woo-woo shit. It's not voodoo. It's literally you commanding your own energy to create something in such a specific and purposeful way that there's no mistake that you just affected the entirety of the universe. And that I teach you extensively in my coaching. If you have any questions, Please email me directly. I also offer installment payments. The links are below. Okay. So the topic of today, I've been thinking about formulating it in this way for quite some time, probably as long as I've been on this channel. The topic of today is how to turn things around in your favor with your SP. Okay, so the short answer I'll give you now and then we'll elaborate. Okay, the short answer is you're going to end up on such a timeline, in such a parallel reality, but it's an entirely different timeline. Who are we kidding? In some cases, things have gone so awry that you need a timeline jump. But the short answer is to change your consciousness and to change the interpretation of what you're looking at right now. The ability to interpret everything in your favor needs to be standard practice in your world. So if you're freaking out right now, no matter what has happened between you and your SP, understand that everything is fixable, with the exception of if you were the one creating the chaos, and if you honestly understand that, and if you're the one that caused the hurt and the pain and the betrayal, etc., you're the one who needs to go and apologize. I'm talking to the other party in the relationship. Most likely you're a people pleaser if you're listening to my channel. Most likely something was done to you. Something was created, okay, by your consciousness that you do not recognize or you don't know how to fix. Okay, so understand this was the interpretation that is making you really miserable right now. It's the interpretation always that keeps you stuck where you are. You're looking at the situation and you're under the impression that you need to text more, call more, convince them more, whatever. No, it is the consciousness, my darling. Okay? No matter what had happened, no matter what was created up until now, meaning, let's just say they lied to you, betrayed you, cheated on you, as long as it's not abusive, okay? That's the other kind of, situation that is the exclusion to this conversation. If they were abusive to you, it's time to let go. It's time to close the door on that. However you're interpreting the situation right now, if you want to completely reverse roles with your SP and turn things around, you need to start interpreting what had happened to your advantage. And this I can help you do, even though, you may be too close to the picture right now and you can't see anything positive about it. And no way can you see the situation in a positive light. I can help you do it. Either I've been through it myself or I've helped somebody already in my coaching to achieve that. But inevitably so, in every situation, there's something good about it. Something good came of it. The very reason that you're listening to this now and you're getting to know how to manifest on purpose is because of this fucking person. Now that's true power. They pushed you to be your better self. People who come into coaching with me, they are sometimes crying tears of gratitude because they say, if it wasn't for this, I would have never learned. I would have never gone into coaching. I would have never learned how to do it purposefully. And there's so much better for it. There could be other reasons that you could certainly derive a beneficial reason for this occurring. In any case, it is always beneficial. You know why? Because you were off track and the way things were going were not going to be beneficial to you one way or the fucking other. Okay, they let you know this person, this version of this person showed up to let you know, hey, you're out of alignment, you ought to do something about it. And this is why people really pay attention what is happening with their romantic life much more in some cases. So then they pay attention to their finances, okay, because it hurts more. It's more personable. Meanwhile, they're just there to deliver the message to you. Hey, your thinking is out of alignment. You really need to get back on track. The number one, and don't look for a quick fix. I consider 2 to 3 months in coaching to be a quick fix, but it's not a quick fix of one day or even 1 week. So every coach that tells you that it's possible to do that, and all those clickbait videos that everybody, like indulges in and this and that, is a waste of fucking time. You're just making money for somebody else. You're not investing money in yourself. It's far more, productive to really understand what you need to fix on the inside that produced the situation, this complete imbalance of what has gone on so far. And how did you create this? That's far more productive to understand than anything else. But regardless, number one thing is to calm down. Okay. Number one thing is to calm down and to forgive this person. Now, of course, again, this is a process, and you will not be able to forgive this person again instantaneously or overnight. Don't ask these things of yourself. It's impossible. You need to process the pain. They've delivered a huge blow to your ego, and that's understandable. And some of you, not for nothing, may be driven wholly because of that, because of your ego and because of how much you suffered, and maybe it was embarrassing, maybe it was humiliating. But you need to go off of real desire in this case. Irregardless of that, though, you really need to forgive them. You really need to let go of this energy. This, again, I help you do in my coaching. You need to let go of this hurt and of this emotion, like I said in the beginning, because you don't want to be on that timeline with that shit show situation anymore. You want to be on a timeline where everything goes according to your plan. And for that, your thinking needs to change in the expectancy of something wonderful to happen. So you're never really changing anyone or anything. You're just jumping into a parallel reality, parallel timeline in which things were always this way. It's an altogether different world, a different altogether person. Yes, they look the same, like I always say. Yes, they sound the same. Yes, they have the same name, but this person is completely transformed. Because now you have educated yourself about how reality truly works, and you're thinking differently of them because you've let go of that drama, trauma, panorama. You have to get to the point where you're not bothered anymore by whatever happened and you're starting brand new. It's as if you've never met this person before. You're meeting them for the first time. And I'm not saying this to just kind of shove it under the carpet, under this imagination of you've never met this person before. I'm truly talking, you first need to forgive, and then and only then embark on this journey of I'm creating brand new, which is how I should have created them in the first place. But I didn't know all these things about creating reality. And so now I'm educating myself, and now I'm starting brand new. You can always start brand new. There's no such thing as failure in that sense. Your job then becomes to mentally, tie the past that you remember so vividly. And for some people, revision doesn't really work because the memory is just so vivid. You can smooth out a memory, but the remnants of it will still be there. And so the job then becomes, the virtuoso magician job then becomes tying the past that you remember or that you've softened perhaps in revision with the desired present. In your mind, through your mind, you're going to do this through interpretation. Two people can look at the same set of events and go, I think it means this. And another person is going to go diametrically opposed. No, I think this is really good. And the first person can say, no, this is horrible, completely no answer, nothing can be done. I mean, how many times have you experienced this in your life where literally two different people told you a different set of answers, different point of views, completely different approach to the same situation? This is what interpretation does to you. If you look at the same set of circumstances and start reinterpreting everything in your favor, guess what? The present timeline that you're occupying will be shifted. In other words, you will be on the timeline in which what you constructed, what you designed on purpose and specifically, not worrying about anything other than what is it that I want to see now. This timeline will be here. Because now you are exercising and practicing being the golden Buddha, you are connecting to that timeline. And tuning in into that parallel timeline, you can do this daily until it becomes normal and natural. This is the new normal, to expect this person, let's just say, to be faithful and loyal to you till his dying breath or her dying breath, to come and apologize to you and in fact mean it, to take you out more, to communicate with you more, to want to have children, whatever, to drop the third party, to drop many third parties. I don't know your story, you know your story. By tuning in and by growing accustomed to this frequency, tuning in to this signal of this is how it could be and this is a timeline that exists right now. When you're tuning in into that frequency, there is no resentment there because everything is according to your plan. There's no worry. There's just peace, tranquility, love, adoration, really being safe and completely unbothered by anything on the outside because you've created this world on purpose for yourself to experience. Just like you created the shit show set of circumstances in the past, you're now being deliberate with your pen or pencil, metaphorically speaking, creating different circumstances, different versions of events. That person, he or she, were the echo of your past, perhaps driving you to such a point of no return that you had no choice but to pay attention to what the fuck is happening. This is when the wake-up call begins. So again, you have to really thank them and thank the universe that it operates in this way, that if you don't take out the proverbial garbage out of the living room, or metaphorical, I should say, you should really and get a signal. And that's what the universe did for you. Hey, your mind, your living room is cluttered right now. You need to take the shit out so that you can invite nice circumstances. So all of that represents the unprocessed energy and emotion that you perhaps are swimming in today. And thus, again, the manifestations. When you're tuning in, and this again is a process of 2 to 3 months that I'm describing right now, you mentally shifting and expecting something completely different from this person, the way that they are, the way that they speak to you, the way that they treat you, the way that how much money they earn now, what kind of shape they're in, that they're single now, that they're preferring you, all these things, okay? This is a brand new person. You don't really want to think of it as you're met with a challenge of changing something. You're never really changing anything again. It's far easier and far more productive again to just let go of that energy yourself and see this reflection in the universe of the confirmation that now this energy is absent from your world. And all of the circumstances and events will go with that fucking energy. When you are kind of like polluted with this energy reigns in your world. You have to become the master magician that only your energy reigns, not something that you experienced back when you were 7. And this is why, my coaching resembles therapy, but is not therapy at all. I'm not a therapist, just for the record. I'm a coach for many different reasons, one of which is the most important one. I'm allowed to tell you what I think. I'm very straightforward. This is exactly what people pay me for because I'm interested in your progress and I'm interested in your growth. And without truth, you ain't going nowhere. So I think facing demons and the truth is most productive. Why? Because you need to acknowledge what happened thus far so that you can honestly learn the lessons and move forward, creating a new desired outcome. So when you're tuning into the new reality and to the new version of that SP and make them the most loveliest version, nothing is impossible. Nothing is off limits. Make them the most beautiful, adorable, wonderful, faithful, loyal, just absolutely obsessed with you in the healthiest possible way. Make them the best and the highest version. So every time you're tuning in into this, maybe in meditation, maybe just in your thoughts, you are accessing this version of them only. This is the point you need to get to where you're expecting something diametrically opposed in some cases, maybe slightly better, whatever it is completely different and it's on your terms. And you can have conversations with this version. You can have discussions. You can give them instructions on how to approach you back and what to say to you, specific words. You can give them thoughts to think. You can give them feelings to feel. You are the master of your reality, just like you created out of the shitty colors you were working with, the shitty emotions you were working with before. You created the shit show version. In the same manner, this time around, you're going to be Modigliani about it. You're going to paint brand new on the brand new spanking clean canvas, okay? White like snow. That's it. This is what I'm creating now. I'm creating the most perfect, wonderful version, one that's going to propose to me, one that's going to marry me, whatever it is that your desired outcome is in the situation. You are only committed to this version and no other version. And if the other version comes up in your thoughts and ideas, it will be like, well, I've done this already. Thank you, but no fucking thank you. Okay. I prefer my beautiful Prince Charming, my Princess Charming. This is what I am committed to, not obsessively. And I'm not, watching 300 million videos on YouTube. What I know, though, is what I constructed in my mind. You do the entire shebang in your mind. This is how you turn things around in your favor, because if you're thinking of things right now as not being in your favor, they will continue being so until such time you change your mind and make peace with what had happened. And in fact, really just express gratitude towards what happened, because it taught you who not to be. It taught you what kind of energy will be destructive in your world, so that you can embark on a much more pleasant and fabulous and magical journey. By emitting a different signal, which it is going to evoke out of you, these emotions of perhaps being in love all over again. Maybe you felt resentment for such a long time, or impatience, or maybe you've been manifesting them for such a long time that you've long forgotten what it's like to feel in love with them. Genuinely in love, like have the passion for that relationship. This anticipation, not in an impatient way again, but this, I know it's coming, and when it gets here, it's going to be so beautiful, and I'm going to enjoy the fuck out of it, because this is exactly what I deserve. By emitting a different signal in this way, on purpose, deliberately choosing, you will end up in a different timeline, my darlings, in a different reality altogether. And as long as you emit this signal, and this is what I train people to do, whether they realize it or not, they will, when you emit the signal, it's game over. Who can stop you? You're the god of your reality in this very manner. Your signal really projects out the 360 bubble in which you live and experience people, circumstances, and events. And if God, the God of your reality, you, says, change of tune, this is the tune that I want to dance to, and so will your SP, and so will your money, by the way, and your other relationship. It just goes all over your energy in every department of your life. So you see how important it is to really get your shit together before you jump back into this relationship. It's not about watching the videos. It's about understanding what made you create this situation in the first place. That would be the place you seek, knowledge, that you seek clarification, that you seek lessons from, not being mad, not being upset, but actually understanding why this happened, and that it is to your benefit, that the universe really does want you to succeed. You absolutely do not need to call them or text them or do anything crazy in the 3D. The entire shebang is an inside job. It's an in-house job. You don't outsource, okay? You need to focus and zero in on, number one, calming down, the 3D meaning nothing, finding the lessons that you've learned from this situation, parting with that resentment, and embarking on a new journey. And now it's on your say-so. If you're giving too much emotion to the past drama, trauma, panorama, you're not in a position to create anything new. So this is what I help people to process and let go of, just like I said in the beginning, because that's what keeps you stuck from seeing things differently, from entertaining different realities, from entertaining different versions of your SPs. When you have that cleared, of course it's a piece of fucking cake. You love this person, you want to be with them, you want to marry them. In a lot of cases, you guys that come to me in my coaching, you really want marriage, you want kids, you want this partnership, okay? But the way that you feel now, you're not on the same frequency as this perfect partnership. So it's not up to them to change. It's up to you to change, to emit a new signal. And then it's like a theater play changeover, costume changeover, scenery changeover, decorations, changeover. Everything will change. Why? Because magically this, from your heart chakra, the signal comes out and lets everybody know, hey, I'm on another timeline now. Change of script, I've designed a new reality, and everybody will conform, don't you know? Now, lastly, I want to say this. You need to create a mental invite for this person, if they really fucked up, to come and apologize to you. Some of you are not willing to do that because there's so much resentment, like I said already. You need to allow that person to come in and apologize to you if you want them to apologize. You need to see them in a different light. Even if they've never apologized to you before, allow them mentally that possibility, that opportunity to come and make it up to you. Allow them that opportunity. Don't just shove them in the corner like they're this way and they're never going to change. They are going to change if you change. But allow them mentally that possibility. Yes, this person could completely change top to bottom. And it's because I can feel that they're changed. If right now you don't feel it, you have some work to do. That's all that it means. But the minute you connect with that reality and it doesn't seem unbelievable to you, it seems very plausible. And you, in fact, are convinced. In fact, this is how to benevolently manipulate any kind of situation, person, or event. When you know how you feel and you can transmit this energy to the circumstances, events, and people, you don't need any confirmation. You already know. Even if you haven't seen them for years, you know what they're thinking, what they're feeling. So then life becomes easy. Then you have control over everything because now you're convinced in your mind, and that's the only thing that you need. And now really being armed with all this knowledge, with all this wisdom, and all the techniques that I will teach you in my coaching about how to really control your emotions and control what kind of energy you accept into your heart. Now this will become a fun relationship for you to enjoy, because before you used to be out of control. It seemed like things are out of your control. It is not so. It has never been so. But now you will be conducting the show in a much more educated way. And that's a lot more fun. And then you will be able to turn any situation around in your favor. Even if ever you fall off the proverbial manifestational wagon, so to speak, not to worry, people. Sometimes we're human. We start feeling things. We may get carried away, but there's no such thing as failure, like I already said. You can always get back on the wagon and start saying to yourself, okay, what do I want to see instead? And go to work on that. Don't even talk to this person. Don't even explain. Don't fight. No, it's a colossal waste of time. Just save yourself the energy and be like, I'm going back to the drawing board and I'm creating something from scratch. And don't you know you will achieve results in the least amount of time this way? This is what I call a quick fix, but it's not so much a quick fix as the know-how, the knowing how to operate in the world versus, losing control and reacting and doing all sorts of stupid shit. Save yourself the time and invest this time and maybe money in coaching in yourself, and learn once and for all how to operate in relationships and come out always on top. You don't have to harm anybody. You're not, putting anybody's free will in jeopardy. All of that is fucking nonsense. There's only one ruler in your universe, and you get to decide what kind of life you live. Yes, even with others. And that's you, the Golden Buddha. Thank you very much for listening. All the information again from me is below. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.